Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project Magnetic Reversal News and Shinrin-yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, May 20th, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2022. We're setting up our new studio, so it's going to take a while because we've had some audio issues, but the snow is coming in record proportions to Colorado as well as Canada, and that's the big story. The big story is power outages, significant threat with up to 31 inches of snow possible in Colorado. As we approach June, keep calm. It's boom time. Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! It's true. Estes Park tourists, well, this video is affecting our voice. Let's hope that helped. And we're sick of it, trust me. Estes Park tourists have been talking ahead of the springtime storm. Many are finding about the weather. Well, let's just get to brass tacks. These are global warmists that are coming to Colorado because it's warm in the spring. Ding, ding. And they're about to get buried in the global warming goodness. Up to, 28 or more inches are predicted. And we'll get to the models in just a minute. It's amazing. Take a look at that. Colorado weather. Where, when, and how much snow is expected with this late season winter storm? Well, it's so unpredictable, it's unpredictable. This is the prediction, but anything like this will actually happen. Timeline, cold front brings chance of storms with hail and strong winds. Now, as this storm moves through Colorado, it's going to also move through the warning zone. As all-time low temperature records fall in Brazil, no one reports on it but Cap Alon. We're going to report on the snow. Ho, ho, ho. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. And we'll just move this through as Al shuts the front door. Take a look at this, Al Gorzabor, or however you want to say it. This is 16 inches in the Teal regions, all the way down into New Mexico as summer approaches. This is May 22nd. Hello, holy macaroni. Let's move it through. It looks like a series of systems will bring much needed moisture to our Colorado mountains as the wildfires persist in this region. So that's good news that we're going to be getting that type of winter weather in summer. What a bummer. Dangerously hot across the east. Heavy snow in Colorado. Holy macaroni. Look at the frost and freeze warnings from Colorado. Just zip it up to Canada. Early season heat will likely record high temperatures. Can you believe that this is how they start this shit? Early season heat? That is not the big story. The only hot spot is right here in the Northeast. The big question is where all the food is going to be planted, which is all in frost and freeze warnings. But the media does not want to pick up on this. And it is so insanely disturbing to me as a scientist. It's almost dystopian. What the media is reporting on is not the facts of it being hot in the Northeast in a few states, but the fact that they cannot plant in the entire upper Midwest. Schmucktards, to say the least. Now, heat advisories are in effect from New England to the Mid-Atlantic in states that no one gives a shit about because the breadbasket is under frost and freeze warnings. Heavy snow will remain possible over Colorado on Saturday. Severe storms are possible from the southern plains to the northeast, and I'm getting heated. Heated because the USGS is so full of shit they won't show a single quake in Iceland, and we just did an update how there have been almost 100 quakes above 2.5 magnitude in the last week. Not a single one showing up. They showed one 4.5 magnitude quake in the last 7 days in Iceland. USGS is basically an unfunded, underrepresented schmucktard excuse for a scientific agency. In my opinion, Space Weather News Update, same thing is going on over at the Suspicious Ones website where he reported that the sun is ramping up when it's actually not ramping up at all. It's been ramping down, in fact, for 3 days. So how he can get that wrong is, but he is taking a day off tomorrow. So apparently he doesn't have time to look at the data. Also, did you know that his prepper camp is in the worst spot in the entire country? Yeah, it is located within 10 miles of 12 state penitentiaries. And if the power goes out, what do you think happens in those facilities? The position he picked his ranch is the most ludicrous and ridiculous position on the entire North American continent. And yet, hundreds of people support him, 500,000 subscribers, and there are people that have spent their life savings to live next to him at this shithole in the desert. Absolutely mind-boggling. KP is at 4, which means that, well, we could probably get some good aurora. Yeah, and it's looking pretty nice there. For many regions in the North Polar region, we could have aurora coming down into Canada, but only in the northern cusp. So there is that. Now, there is an earthquake swarm in Lake Taupo. Also, let's get back to Ben Davidson one more time, because I'm so sick of that schmucktard making $10,000 a week just on ad revenue. He also recently told you, just a few months back, that the Hunga Tonga eruption was insignificant. It went to 50,000. It's not even an eruption, and he has not commented on it since then. That's how wrong this idiot is. And so I'll just get that off my chest. Worldwide volcano news update. Just standard activity worldwide, except in Iceland, where we see massive amounts of uplift. And if you want to know more about that situation on the Reykjanes Peninsula, please check out our update on magnetic reversal news, where we break it down to you on the historical data, the geologic evidence, and what could potentially happen on the Reykjanes Peninsula. Not fear-mongering. This is true science. Everything on that other suspicious site is a bunch of garbage where you have to buy his textbook and shit your pants for the rest of your life until something may happen. Now, Sri Lanka protesters burn politicians' homes as the country plunges further into chaos. Now, we warned you about this 6 years ago, that this would come true, and that's why we started the channel. Food shortages, political unrest, well, and just the end of the empire. But not a single word from that other channel, who's got millions of viewers that are just gobbling up his gobbledygook. Lake Michigan, Lake Huron lost 20 trillion gallons of water over the last 2 years. And the general public gobbles this up. They just read the headline because they don't know actually how to read. And they say, oh my God, it's global warming. No, it isn't. It's the record high ever on Lake Michigan. So high that these 5 billionaires, schmucktards, built these houses as the water was rising. Do you see where it almost came to their houses in 2019? Yeah. During the beginning of the grand solar minimum, when cosmic rays will increase water levels. Well, just imagine in 2050 where the water level will be here at the 3rd floor of these idiots' houses. And the retribution the people behind that had riverfront, lakefront houses once had, these are the paupers. These are the billionaires. And these are the idiots. Al Gore, I think, lives here. Shut up! No, he doesn't. He's in a hole in my basement. Now, we can prove it to you by showing you data. Something that Ben Davidson never shows you. He shows you papers that he claims proves his point. But if you read the papers, none of them prove his point. He's just making up a story. Just like his books that he sells every day. You know what we sell every day? Truth. Did I ever ask you to buy anything that I ever sold? Maybe I have, but I certainly don't do it every day because I own it. Nothing I have ever sold is mine. I just recommend cool shit that people like. On the other hand, people with 500,000 plus subscribers tend to recommend shit they don't even use, or they make themselves to enrich themselves. Not because they're selling you facts or sharing you actual information they care about. It's because you're scared to death and you need to buy it in order to survive. Well, I assure you, you don't need to buy anything to survive, because people in the past have lived through these events and they never bought anything. Because that paradigm is new. It's only the last few thousand years, maybe 5,000 years we actually had to buy anything. Barter was the king of the kings. But let's get to the ding-dings. This is when rich people were buying lakefront property on all the Great Lakes 3 years ago, when the market was, well, everyone was a billionaire. And these idiots bought land that had never been sold before because, well, take a look. since back into 1990, the water had never been that high, and it was global warming. And they realized global warming was happening, and the river and the lakes came up the highest level ever because of cosmic rays. The peaks of all of the lakes happened in 2019 during the cosmic ray maximum. As proven by Svensmark in his research that cosmic rays nucleate clouds, especially in the northern latitudes, it was proven at the Great Lakes. So guess what happens in 5 years, kids? All these schmucktard billionaires' homes. Remember this old shoreline right here that eroded almost back to the pillars of the newly built homes in 2016? From all the new made millionaires, these idiots' homes will collapse into the lake as the original landowners, well, their land will skyrocket. Hello! And that is what Jesus said, didn't he? He said the meek will inherit the earth. Yeah, because the rich are fucking stupid. Now, if you're not stupid and you have no money, stick with us, because we're going to give you every single day we provide a podcast on Oppenheimer Ranch Project, free resources that the rich people will never give you. And I won't ask you to pay $1 for anything on this video, because I didn't write a book full of nonsense garbage from mainstream science like other people have done. But if you want to know how to grow your own food, people have known how to do this for over 10,000 years. But we've lost touch with reality. You know what reality is? Going outside, smelling the air, walking through the woods, the forest, Shinrin-yoku, experiencing life, looking at nature and understanding it for the complexity it is. And if you don't know how to grow food, well, then you don't know how. This is a guide, a complete guide for beginners, and it's a PDF. You download the whole thing. Look at that. Only 17,144 people even viewed this. How many downloaded it? Oh my God. I hope you know what you're doing. I hope you're preparing for what's coming. We're not bumming. We're prepared. We make enough meat, honey, produce, fruit to provide for ourselves forever. Can you say the same? If not, don't be scared. Be prepared. We have long-term food storage below the video at Patriot Supply, but we want you to learn how to grow your own food. It's the least expensive way to be the most productive in the worst times moving forward, and that's a boom. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance in the world we're heading into as markets collapse and the empire shifts. We warned you about it. Don't be worried about a fake micronova bullshit scenario from any scaremonger. Be prepared for the reality that's happening now. And we'll show you how. And that's a boom. Be safe. We love you.